Hey everyone, Rob from Southgate Media Group here. Before we get started with this podcast, we have a quick message. If this is your first time checking out the show, we love that you found us and we really hope you enjoy it. What we have to say is for the subscribers. If you enjoy our shows, would you please donate to help keep these going? We don't want to have to put traditional ads on these shows, but this does cost money. So we really do rely heavily on donations. To make a donation to the show, please go to our website, www.southgatemediagroup.com. Go to the page for the show, and in the upper right-hand corner is a donate button. It takes you right to PayPal, and you can donate whatever amount you want. Thanks a lot for listening, everybody. And now on with the show. Welcome to the Nuff Said Podcast. We're talking Season 2, Episode 15 of Agents of S.h.i.e.L.D. One Door Closes. I am ridiculously tired, Rob Southgate. With me is...
Jambalaya, Jack Wengroski.
And the adorable Alil.
Aww. Well, you know, I've seen
That's
your
for the
pictures.
ladies.
I've seen you in person. I'm still waiting to see where you're getting this adorable from, but okay.
Oh, I'm adorable.
Yeah. Yeah, no arguments here. Adorable Alil it is. And Jambalaya Jack, I think that has to do with the smell, doesn't it?
No, that's a good smell.
Yeah, that's a good smell. Yours, not so good.
Not so good.
Although I do smell sausage.
Enough about me. What do you think about me?
So, all right. I want to jump into this episode mainly because it's late, and I don't want to be on here all night. So, what did you guys think of this episode?
Hello?
Okay. I was going to defer to you, Jack, because I am adorable. No, this episode was backstory. And I'm going to call it out here that, Rob, you were wrong.
I'm going to call it out here that I still am not wrong. First of all, mark my words were said that Lucy Lawless would return.
No, you said that Lucy Lawless is still alive.
But
Go back to the tape.
Wait. I'm gonna go back.
See, this just means that Alil's the only one listening to the show.
Even if that is very true. even if
said
that is what I said.
Okay.
Even if it is, I still said, mark my words, she will return. She's not dead. I still say that. We are not done with her, and I think tonight it just fueled that fire. No way is she dead and done.
I don't know, because I read something that they were really happy to have her back again for one episode because they really liked her, and that's kind of where it was left off.
That's
so
fine.
I
But
think
they haven't. We never
And so
saw a body.
it's like Star Wars. They just backdated it. Like, this is Chapter 1, and that was Chapter 4.
Right.
So I think it's a partial win. I don't think it's a full win yet.
I don't think it's a full win, but I don't think I'm wrong either.
Yeah. Well, if they're setting all this up, maybe, who knows? Maybe they'll reconstitute her and some alien thing like pops her back up or
reconstitute her. No,
Hey,
they won't.
Did you guys
They won't,
notice?
because Edward James almost hates alien blood. Like, the minute they were talking about Coulson, and it's just like, he has alien blood. He's racist.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that they didn't pump her through with alien blood. She'll come back, and he'll have to reject her then.
Was anybody getting Harry Potter flashbacks, like with Muggles and stuff like that?
Absolutely not. What the hell are you talking about?
I love Harry Potter. I wasn't getting any flashbacks.
Where did you get a flashback from?
Well, because the whole thing about Muggles is racism with non-wizards. I thought you were a geek. Come on, you're disappointing me, man.
Well, yeah,
you
but I
just
wasn't
dropped
getting
it
it from
You
that.
dropped the geek cred.
I'm
sorry.
No, I wasn't getting it from that. No, you know what I was thinking of the whole time was Civil War.
Yes, I was thinking of Civil War as well the whole time. Because
that's not what you Alil. That's not what you told me before the show.
Oh, conversations with me not there. I was thinking Mississippi Burning. That's what I was thinking.
No, we actually didn't have a conversation, but I thought I would create like a Marvel like backstory about Alil and I conversation about how you're just wrong.
Right.
Where we've teamed up and
wait, with Lucy Lawless
we're showing why we're loyal to each other.
Yes. Although that scares me.
I think that's where the adorable comes in.
Hey-oh.
Hey-oh.
He's kind of like my little teddy bear.
I'm not very little, though.
We'll take your word
throw
for it.
up in my mouth a little bit.
Yeah, I don't want to see anything on Instagram.
No, but with this episode, I enjoyed the little bit of backstory because it kind of, is that throwback to, when Winter Soldier was going on. But it was just weird. I didn't care for it. I didn't care about that saving Edward James.
I mean, you didn't you didn't get a little bit of the goosebumps when you found out that was the house that Banner built?
Oh, that was cool.
I liked that part. I'm talking about the flashback sequence.
I did love that when she put her fist in the Hulk's fist.
Yeah,
hole.
I love that part.
That was very cool.
Even my kids picked up on that. And they're like, is that the Hulk's fist? I'm like, yes, it is.
What are you saying? Your kids are doofuses, a little? How rude!
My kids are 4-year-old geeks.
Yeah, even my kids got it.
Yes. For the people out there who listen and didn't get it, a 4-year-old.
I think they got. Where I think they got that shape from was one of those old green foam things you could put your hand into.
Right, the Hulk hands?
Yeah. Dude, it was totally the Hulk hand.
They still have them in the stores.
Oh, those are awesome.
Yep.
Man, I may have to buy a couple of them.
Well, now they have the Thanos one. Have you seen that?
They have the gauntlet. Yeah, with the gauntlet.
Is it got the rings?
Yep.
Yeah,
nice.
And they actually have a new one coming out because they have a new one. They have a new Hulk fist for Avengers, and like the fingers are movable. You can actually grip stuff with it. And
cool.
And they have actual Walmart exclusive is going to have a Hulkbuster fists.
I think that might violate the copyright on Kung Fu Grip, though.
The fact that it has movable fingers.
I think it's beer grip because I'll just drink beers with my Hulk fists.
Yeah, because you're a big beer drinker, Lil.
Yeah, or lattes or whatever.
Yeah, I was gonna say
iced mocha frappuccinos.
You're trying to look cool, like it's a beer grip, and really,
yeah, man, beer.
It's an iced chai grip, is really what it is for a Lil.
And dude, when Sky did the when the that real difficult guy. I don't like the guy. I don't know his name. I don't even care what his name is.
Eyeless guy?
Huh?
The guy without eyes?
No, the one of the real quote SHIELD agents, and he took the actual bullet shot at Sky, and Mockingbird is yelling no.
Oh, right.
And then Sky just unleashes on him, and I was like, man, that was the best scene where she does the little quake flash.
Oh yeah, and then the guy got the. I love when they were blown back, and you saw the wood go through his shoulder, and the little blood went spraying out.
Yeah, dude, I was hoping that went through his head.
Yeah, I thought one of them was going to get brain damage, and I was hoping it wasn't Mockingbird. So
yeah. We talked about her maybe being like a triple agent or even a quadruple agent.
She's not.
She's really, I don't know. Yeah, I think with the backstory, she's part of that original team, blah blah blah. But she's still very much on the Coulson team's side.
Well, yeah, that's why I'm saying I don't think she's a triple agent. I just think that she thinks that this is correct, but she's starting to see the flaw in it. The fact that he's going after Coulson, I think she's not digging on that. Right. And I also think Mac isn't digging on that either. I think Mac is like, no, this is the correct thing, and we're just keeping Coulson in check, but he seems genuinely on the team too. So I really am interested to see how this plays out.
I don't know if I believe that with Mac. I think Mac cares for Fitz because they developed that bond.
And he saved his life again.
Yeah, I don't think Mac cares for Coulson like that. I think he respects him and whatever, but I think he knows he has to be taken down.
Yeah, well, I think Mac is
that.
very much into the anti-alien, anti-mutant thing, right? Because man, his rhetoric, his anti-Coulson rhetoric, anytime that it would show him alone with Mockingbird was just too strong.
Yeah, and he's always talking about the alien stuff. It's always the aliens, the city. I mean, it's just everything with that. So I don't see Mac. I don't see Mac ever just joining the team again.
Really? No. So you think he's done?
Yes.
I don't know that maybe if he's done, but I think if they do have this fractured part of SHIELD that survives, and maybe that becomes SWORD or whatever it's supposed to be, Mac may be in the mix, but I don't think he'll ever be part of the team. I don't think that necessarily, though.
Yeah,
I think
you're right. I think that. How do I say this? I don't think that he's going to like flip back to the team. I just think that I think him and Mockingbird are in an interesting position because they were with the team. He may be way more, left and her more right, or however you want to look at it. But man, I don't know. I don't think that he would necessarily. I think that he thinks this is what's right and this is what's happening. But I don't think he would go about it in a negative way. But yes, he does care for Fitz, so he was trying to protect Fitz.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's as far as it goes. As far as he's concerned, the team can go to hell. They're not S.H.I.E.L.D. But I feel he is protective of Fitz, and that's kind of where it ends. Where Mockingbird, everybody had a lot more invested, even Coulson. I think her story is going to be a lot more disappointing, as a character story. They're going to be more disappointed than in Mac. Like, Mac was kind of I don't want to say a throwaway, but I don't think, to them that they were as emotionally connected to him as they were with her.
Well, and that's the other thing. Do you think that, Coulson realized that it was her. I don't think he knew, but I don't know. I don't think that she's going to have a hard time being integrated back into the team. I think that what we were seeing is, once again, we keep saying it's S.W.O.R.D., and it might end up being that, or it might just be a new faction, which, is this more militant side of S.H.I.E.L.D. I think that whatever's happening here is going to resolve during Ultron, because we're going to see the return of Nick Fury, and that changes everything we've just seen.
Well, unless Fury doesn't go back. Fury might just be popping in Ultron to kind of, give his Fury wisdom to the team.
Well, what happens when...
Because he's not in Civil War. He's not a faction.
Yeah, but don't you think that, Coulson is going to see Fury? I don't think that they're going to go through this film without the S.H.I.E.L.D. people becoming aware that he's alive.
Well, my take on it is that when he comes back, that is the end of Civil War, because this other faction, at least for Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., that the other faction, they've spent their entire post-Hydra days quoting, what Nick Fury's orders are. And so what really happens when Fury comes back and says, you know what, I made Coulson the director for a reason, and then where do you go with, does that start the end of the Civil War?
No, I don't think they do that, though. I think that's too premature for this storyline.
Well, I'm just saying, does that end the storyline? I don't necessarily think the storyline ends that soon, but that Nick Fury, either coming back or, like you say, maybe he doesn't come back, but he says to everybody that Coulson's the man, and all the people that follow S.H.I.E.L.D., they're all still kind of S.H.I.E.L.D. agents.
Right, but you even heard them talk about it, in their little conference room thing, not in the flashbacks, that they didn't like that Fury had all these secrets, and it's Fury's fault for all these secrets that Hydra took over. So I think even if Fury came back, they would be against what Fury says, because they want to be a transparent organization. Everything is about transparency here, and what they want is they want everything out in the open. That's why they want the toolbox. But is it why they want the toolbox? I don't know, because I think that there's something else hidden with that, because they keep mentioning about the supers, and they've even kind of brought up in a roundabout way, the Avengers, and they're against them. They're against Nick Fury using his muscled, superpowered teams to do his dirty work. That's what they think of the Avengers.
Well, I also think that they want that list so that they can get rid of the supers.
More than likely, yes.
Yeah,
which once again is going to lead into Civil War.
Right. This is all a setup for that. This is because Edward James Olmos isn't going anywhere. I think he's on.
When does Civil War come out?
20 episodes. Next May of 2016.
This is a long time to be laying these seeds, man.
I know they've
these seeds are going to be laid
pretty hard already.
But these seeds are going to be laid out in Age of Ultron. These seeds are probably we might see something depending on where the timeline falls for Ant-Man. We might be hearing about this, and the fact that they don't have another movie, I think this is where they're going to let this build up and play out, because they're going to have some Inhuman involvement as well. because they're going to be hunting these Inhumans. They're not going to hunt the supers yet. They're not going to not the superheroes.
Right.
I've been watching Incredibles too much. I keep saying the supers.
Right.
But I think what this is going to lay the groundwork is these two factions of S.H.I.E.L.D. are still going to be at opposition going into season 3, and this is how it's going to the momentum is going to build into Civil War, and this is where I'm going to predict that we're going to have a cameo or an episode with Robert Downey Jr. in season 3 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, I would
maybe
not
as Iron Man, but maybe as Tony Stark.
Yeah, I would not be surprised by that. I think that is coming. And I don't think it's going to happen. I think it's season 3 is where it's going to happen. There's no reason for it to happen in this season. No. But season 3 leading into Civil War, I think it's a perfect time for that to happen. Yeah,
we're a month from Age of Ultron. All this stuff is going to explode, and then we'll see the aftermath. And that's just like with Winter Soldier,
right?
And just to bring up, because you were talking about Coulson, Coulson knew because at the end of the season last year, it was already post Winter Soldier.
Oh, right, when Fury showed up.
Fury showed up. Yeah,
I forgot about that. Yeah, all right, you got me. So Coulson knows, but the rest of those guys know.
Oh no, I think.
Almost doesn't know. No way.
I don't know who knows. Yeah, almost doesn't know. No. I think his faction might know, like his group.
No, I don't think so, man.
Well, I think I don't know. I'm curious on that because you're right. Maybe he kept that to himself, but then how did he get the toolbox? I don't know.
Well, and that's where I think that when Fury comes back, their mind is going to be blown because they don't know Fury's alive.
Right.
And then when Fury comes back, it either takes the wind out of their sails or, like you say, it doesn't matter because they're not following, his rule. But I just don't think a guy like Nick Fury is going to say, okay, well, let's open, this to a vote. I think he lays down the law, and that's kind of the end of their little.
Well, I don't know. Well, then where do we go with Civil War? I mean, the Civil War is the two sides of the same coin that they're arguing about. One, for to register, one against. And I think if Fury is going to play a big role, which he didn't in the comics, I think he would be on the role of the side for the non-registration for the superhumans to let them do what they want to do.
Right.
But what's going to be?
I don't know.
What's going to be his role then? Does he take does he take back S.H.I.E.L.D.? Does he kind of sit from the sidelines?
I don't think he has a role in this at all. I think Fury's going to go off on his own, and we're not going to see him until we get to Infinity War.
Yeah, I just think that when he comes back, I don't think. Well, I think we might see him, but I think when he comes back to power, that will be the end of Civil War, or at least the beginning of the end, or at least the fracture of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, I don't think his return is going to have any impact on Civil War. I do think that it will end whatever's going on now. And your two factions, maybe that is the birth of S.W.O.R.D. and S.H.I.E.L.D. This faction serves this purpose. This faction serves this purpose. You deal with the, well, you know what? Maybe Coulson's team is the team that turns into S.W.O.R.D. because they deal with the aliens.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe we had that wrong.
Yeah, that's a good point. Maybe it's all backwards.
Huh. Maybe Olmos' team really is S.H.I.E.L.D.
They keep calling themselves the real S.H.I.E.L.D. So
is there
maybe
anything to the stars that are on the S.H.I.E.L.D. logo?
Yeah, we talked about a Captain America link last time, but I don't know that might be it.
Yeah, I don't.
Although the theory that I can't remember if it was you, Rob, or Lil, but linking that to like Cap takes he takes a side.
Yeah.
And maybe it's a hint that he's going to align with them, and then, like you say, Coulson becomes S.W.O.R.D. And
yeah, but that would be the complete opposite of. I don't know if it would be the opposite because they're for transparency, and that's what Cap is for. So I don't know. Now I'm getting confused.
Right, I'm getting confused too. But I mean, there's.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Once again, we might be talking about S.W.O.R.D. and it might not be S.W.O.R.D. at all.
Yeah, it might be S.H.I.E.L.D. I don't know.
It might be a parallel. Like they may make up a whole new thing for it. But
right.
But that's the thing. If Cap is for transparency, he would align himself with the real S.H.I.E.L.D., and that's what those stars represent.
unless that's not what they're. I mean, that's what they say. You know what I mean? Like,
right? They're saying the real Shield, but
I don't get that feeling from them. I don't.
Didn't tonight's episode really tell you that's what it was birthed out of? Was, we're going to do this. We're going to be the Shield that we were supposed to be from the beginning, and Nick Fury maybe didn't have it right.
Yeah, but how?
Because Coulson's a Fury loyalist, and they're not.
But Shield is all about dealing with the supers and dealing with the aliens, and it sounds like this team doesn't want to deal with that. In fact, they want to alienate the aliens or even eradicate them. And how do you have transparency when, first off, you want to eliminate all the mutants? And I mean, you can't be that kind of organization and be just that transparent.
Sure.
I think their whole mission is flawed. You can't have a secret entity that wants to be transparent.
Right.
So they're doomed to failure from the start.
I just don't know. I
maybe
I feel like it's our Spider-Man rabbit hole. Like, we're talking about this, and I don't know if we're gonna come to any resolution in any way. I'm finding myself not completing a thought on this.
Well, because there's nowhere, like you said, it's a hole. There's nowhere to go until it happens.
Yeah, right.
So what about Hunter and some of the other things that went on? I mean, he comes back in.
What did Hunter write on that paper?
His name.
His name. He signed it, and he said, "Just consider this the contract."
Okay, I couldn't tell. I'm like, what was that scribble? Okay, I thought it was. I don't know.
It looked like my handwriting, so I could totally decipher it.
Yeah. Bring me Halle Berry. That's what it said.
On a platter.
Oh. Yeah, I loved that little bit right there at the end. Yeah. And I love that Hunter is now fully in the fold. He's like, whatever you need, boss, I'm here. Here's my contract. I loved that. And I don't think that we're done with Mockingbird. I don't think Mockingbird is... I think she's going to be going between the two groups. If you continue to have the two groups, you're going to have Mac on there, so we have a recognizable character in the other group. Okay? I think that the woman, the one that was the teacher at the school, and I think that I don't know if that bald dude is long for this world. But,
the dude from Fringe?
Yeah. I don't know if he's long for this, but I do think that you may have these parallel groups that will be out there and will be butting heads, even though they are on the same side.
Yeah, but that's the thing that bothers me, I guess, because we already kind of had that with Talbot.
Well, he's just straight up military.
Well, right, but they were butting heads a lot on this early stuff with Hydra. They were, bumping into each other, not liking each other, yet they ended up working together. And, is this what this is going to be now? We're going to have a lot of this kind of back and forth drama. They're doing the same missions, both being the good guy.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just don't want that. But then I don't want it to be that, this is... another faction of Hydra or something that they're trying to pretend that they're S.H.I.E.L.D. again. I don't know.
Yeah,
it just seems like it's a lot of repetitive stuff here, which I know it's not going to be at the end. The end payoff it will be better. I can feel it, but how they're getting to it, it just seems like it's repeating itself again.
Right? Yeah, they've basically broken all of the agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. The whole thing's broken. So they had a little team. The whole team is gone now.
Yeah, they're all somewhere else.
Right. There is no even little team, and then there's this alternate real Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So there's not a continuity. There's nothing in this right now other than Coulson and Skye that keeps me back to the original thing.
Yeah, right.
Why you like the show. I can't align with a character anymore. Because everybody's aligned with somebody else.
It is tough. It is tough. I mean, okay, I'm going to go back to the beginning of our conversation. I loved this episode. I didn't get to say that. I'll tell you why. I really did dig the flashback. As opposed to you, Alil, who didn't. I really did. I loved that it was fleshing out this thing. And the whole time I'm watching it, I'm picturing what's going on in Cap 2. And I'm just like, oh, yeah, this is going on here. I thought for sure we were going to get a moment of, Falcon flying by if they were outside. Just a brief, whatever.
Well, but they were on a boat in the middle of the ocean. So, I mean, we weren't going to get any of that. They were far from DC where it was going on.
Yeah, but
this was a different this was a different kind of flashback. This wasn't like, okay, we've got a whole episode of material and we're all going to try and use it for like a put together episode. These were specially shot flashbacks that didn't exist before, so I didn't really get that like rehashed kind of feeling and filler.
I didn't either. I just really dug that. I thought it was cool.
I guess I look at it that I understood it. I don't know if I needed all the explanation. Like, I think, to me, I wanted them to keep moving the story forward, and in my mind, the story stood still, because we already knew that this was kind of the faction. I guess that's where I went with it. I didn't need...
Yeah, but didn't you want to see how that went together? And the Lucy Lawless thing, I'm telling you, it's leading into something that's going to happen with that.
But I think you could have showed me a 5-minute flashback clip that they filmed, and I think it would have filled me in better, and then if they moved the storyline further.
Yeah, but I think we got that whole backstory about why they're so committed to their cause,
right?
And why why aren't Mockingbird and Mac aligned with Coulson? And now we know why. That they have invented a whole new shield, and they're probably not going back. I think the one significant thing was when Mockingbird saw the guy take the actual bullet shot at Skye. I think that stuff is going to start to lose her, because they're not out to be friends. They either want to eliminate Coulson or capture them. It's like, well, once we get them, show them what the real shield is, all my buddies are going to figure it out, and we're going to be one happy family. And I think she's going to quickly find out that's not the case.
Right.
And I think that's what sets it up. But I do agree with you in a little bit that maybe a little more doing and a little less explanation might have kind of gone. But the whole scene about when they're being overrun on the ship and why they're doing what they're doing was, I thought it was pretty huge.
Yeah, I did too. I'm actually kind of surprised that you weren't as into that a little. But I do get your point about the story didn't move forward. And this is the one thing I'm kind of fearing right now. We have a lot of stuff kind of going on, but is the story necessarily moving forward, or are they biding their time until Age of Ultron?
Right.
Because that's where it worked so well last year. They had a couple of good episodes just before, and then boom, Cap 2, and then wow, it was exciting. I'm worried that we might be set up for a bit of a drought in story until that happens.
So
I agree. I think that's what is happening here.
So do you think they're biding their time for Ultron, or do you think they're biding their time for Civil War? And are you afraid that it's going to drag on that long?
Oh, it couldn't be that long.
Well,
it won't make it into a third season if it doesn't move forward.
But what do you do? They've just set up Civil War.
They have, and I agree. I think it's both, Jack. I think because what we keep hearing, the rumblings for Ultron, the clip that they showed with Captain America and Tony Stark out in, I guess it's Hawkeye's kind of hidden wilderness away from everything. It's already getting into the plot and details of what's going to emerge to be Civil War.
Right.
And from everything that's kind of being, released and spilled out of here, that this movie will connect directly into that. That how this movie ends is where Civil War really begins. And I think that's where S.H.I.E.L.D. then is going to kick off and continue that storyline. This is why I think that these two S.H.I.E.L.D. factions aren't going anywhere for a long period of time. They're going to have their battles. There's going to be the one side protecting the one side, helping. It might go so far that it's Coulson's team actually helping all the Inhumans, teaming up with Skye's father and all those people, and actually them joining forces against the quote-unquote real S.H.I.E.L.D., because they're the ones opposed to the superheroes, and to register them, to jail them, to however they're going to play this up. And I think that's how this whole thing is going to stretch from when they actually get to kick this off after Ultron to end that season, and then start season 3 all the way until they move into the real Civil War film.
Well, I guess my fear was like from movie to movie, like Star Wars, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, and 7, 8, and 9, whatever there is, that people don't mind the suspension in time. Like, from Age of Ultron to Civil War to, the next project, even if they're a year apart, people don't think much of it. You can start where you left off. But I think they're going to go from the team almost to like they're going to, like you say, build up. So they're going to be stuck in this for the next year. I don't see them advancing the storyline much more than this up until Civil War. How do you do that for a whole year?
Man, it's going to get really boring if they don't.
Well, what they're going to do, and again, I don't know. Well, mark my words.
Oh, this is are you where saying they're going.
It? This is where they backfill the secondary plot of the Inhuman storyline. This is where we're going to build more into the Inhumans, have the peppering of all the stuff going on with Civil War, because the Inhumans they should be a big part of this for the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe all the way through Infinity War. And their movie was supposed to be a big part of this, but because of Spider-Man, they had to push it out. So I think now they're like, here, to Whedon's brother and all them. Hey, you now have this book open wide. Use these characters, build this up, take your storyline from here now on, and then tie in all this stuff with Civil War. So I think it'll move stuff forward. I think we'll still be entertained because they're going to bring us Inhumans, and they're going to play it that way because this is the introduction of these characters for it. Sure. We might have to wait until an Inhumans movie or Infinity War to get Medusa and Black Bolt and all the
oh yeah, I don't think we're going to see those guys here.
But we might get some of the secondary characters, or even maybe some of the secondary or some of the main villains for the Inhumans.
But Rob, haven't we been talking about this like since like almost 2 years now that for the second season, where are the Marvel characters? Because there's
but we're
such a peppering, and the ones that we had like Deathlock was kind of disappointing.
I would, other than Deathlock, which they need to bring back and they need to fix. I think that like I said, Mockingbird has been fantastic. There have been a few that they've done a really good job with so far. Are they the big ones? No, they might be holding those in their pocket, but at the same time, like for the Inhumans, I like where this Inhumans thing is going, and I like the idea that we're not going to see, Black Bolt or Medusa until the film.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're taking Sky home, whatever home is for Inhumans, and I think we're going to see a lot more of that coming up.
Yeah, and we could. Who knows? I mean, at this point, TV is mixing so much with like the movie world, not just with Marvel, but for a lot of these, actors and stuff. I mean, people are going back and forth doing both. That I can see them maybe bringing in a big gun here or there. I'm talking about not the Avengers, but a big gun in the Inhumans universe.
Right.
Who knows? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Benedict Cumberbatch appears on this show.
Oh, I would. I think you're getting a little optimistic about what's going to happen here.
Sherlock Holmes as an Inhuman?
No, but I'm saying as Doctor Strange.
No, I think you're a little optimistic about that. I don't think we're going to see characters like that.
BBC show. Why couldn't they get him to do it?
They could, but they're not going to reveal that character until he hits the screen.
I don't know about that. I don't know. How were we a year and a half from Doctor Strange? More? What is it?
I don't know.
Is that the November, or is that Black Panther first? I can't remember now off the top of my head.
I'm looking it up.
Yeah, but if you have that, why wouldn't they introduce like an Iron Man or a Hulk on the show?
Well, I think because the cost of the special effects is too much for Iron Man. I do think Robert Downey Jr. is coming, but Robert Downey Jr. is in a different class of celebrity than a Benedict Cumberbatch. I know, the geek world and everything, Benedict Cumberbatch is, one of the Mount Rushmore of geek characters,
right.
They're actors right now, but he's not commanding $40 million a movie.
Well, not in America, but in Britain, he's a pretty big deal.
I understand, but he's still doing a television show in Britain. So Why
is
couldn't he do a
interesting.
TV show here?
Oh, here we go. I got the dates. So we've got Civil War May 6th of next year. We've got Doctor Strange November 4th.
Okay, so that comes out before Black Panther. Okay.
Guardians of the Galaxy 2 May 5th. Spider-Man film in July. Thor Ragnarok in November. That's 2017. And then we hit Infinity War. Infinity War in 18. Black Panther, Captain Marvel, Infinity War 2, and then finally we hit the Inhumans.
Yeah.
So that's a long freaking time. We got 4 years before Inhumans hit.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, if they supposedly have Vin Diesel on the hook, I could actually see him doing this on television.
Not before it hits the screen.
For 4 years?
4 years. I cannot see them debuting Black Bolt like, oh, he comes in and he's in for a minute and then that's it. And then we wait. No. They're going to hold those cards close to their vest. I think that we're going to get either secondary characters, we're going to get characters, you're going to get the Inhumans that are here, but the big ones that are living on the dark side of the moon, we're not going to see those guys until it hits. Do I want to see them? Yeah, I want Medusa to show up. She's not going to show up. I'm telling you.
All right.
I just don't think that's going to happen. I think that you're going to get these Inhumans, which they're building. See, here's the deal. These Inhumans that they're giving us, they could very well, let's say this Gordon guy turns out to be a good guy, okay? Because right now we're working under the assumption that, the Inhumans we've run into are bad guys, but he may not be, Let's work under the assumption he's a good guy. Well, couldn't they spin off a series with those guys and make it to go up against this proposed X-Men TV show? Steal some of the thunder out from that X-Men show? It could be.
It'd be a good format to do it on.
Do a mini series, do a mid-season replacement or a summer replacement series. Not call it the Inhumans, call it something else, but use these characters and you never have to introduce those big ones from the dark side of the moon.
Just out of curiosity, why wouldn't you just call it the Inhumans, like Agent Carter?
Because I think that the title for the Inhumans implies you're going to have Medusa and Black Bolt and those characters. I think you're better off staying away from it and going with something else if they do that.
Yeah.
I think they 4 years is way too long before we see Black Bolt. Yes.
Well, it's 3 years before we see Black Panther, although, it's rumored he's going to show up in Age of Ultron. But
yeah, and he's going to be in Civil War as well. He's going to be introduced in this universe prior to that movie.
Right, so it's not really 4 years.
And is Captain Marvel going to be introduced before then?
Black Bolt, huh?
Is Captain Marvel going to be introduced before then?
There's rumors. There's rumors that she'll be in Civil War as well. There was rumors that she was going to be in Age of Ultron, but I think those have been squashed.
Yeah, I mean, man.
Because Josh Whedon in an interview said that there's going to be a lot more characters revealed that people don't know about.
Yeah, did you see there's 2 more actresses that have been named? One is that Linda Cardinelli.
Yeah, from ER. Right?
Freaks and Geeks is what I know her from.
Okay, well, she was in ER, I think, longer than she was in Freaks and Geeks, but yes.
Well, I didn't watch ER, so...
Well, she was in Grandma's Boy. How about that?
All right, now we're talking. So what do you think she's playing in this? Have they said anything?
No, they haven't. And who knows? I mean, it could be a thing that they just threw out there just to. I don't know. Like it could be nobody. I mean, it's just like that. Everybody was making a big stink about.
Yeah, but she's a
waitress.
Name. She's a name.
Yeah, but so was that waitress that was in Avengers. What's her name? I can't remember her name. She did a lot of indie films and stuff. The one that Cap saved. And I guess
but she was supposed to be a character.
Well, she was supposed to have a scene with Cap that was going to lead to him visiting Agent Carter, but they cut that all out.
Yeah, but they also didn't pump the fact that she was, the fact that they're releasing this, they're trying to build more steam, more excitement. She's a name. She's somebody that you recognize, and she's going to end up being a character. Just like Colby Smulders, when they did the first Avengers and they were talking about Colby Smulders, it was like, she's somebody who, you knew she was going to have a part. I think that's the same here. And I like how they say it's rumored, but if you go to IMDb, it lists her on the cast, but it says rumored next to it. It's like, come on, man.
I think they have to do that for legal reasons.
Yeah, I don't know.
Wink, wink, allegedly.
Yeah, I don't see anyone else hidden in here that we don't know. it's all that, we know that Ulysses Claw's in it. We know that, let's see, Eric Selvig, The Vision, Hulk. Hulk. Lou Ferrigno is the voice of the Hulk. He's credited. Stan Lee, Anthony Mackie, Don Cheadle. We knew these, right? Baron von Stucker, Dr. Cho. Yeah, and then when I go through here, I don't see really anybody else. I mean, everything else is kind of, unless they're characters, I don't know their names. Like Sock. Anyone know who Sock is?
I do not.
Tub Family Child. Yeah, there's no other clues in here about anybody and who they are. Everything else is just kind of, Evil Hydra Scientist is in there.
So, did anybody catch at the very end where they hand the box to somebody and tell Simmons to see if Simmons can open it?
Yeah.
Yes.
I thought that was kind of, well, she's on board now. Like, they really didn't make much of a thing about it, but they're giving the box to Simmons, and she's barely they had that one little scene we need help with Mac and blah blah blah. They didn't even you're with us or against us. So she goes to help out Mac, and the next thing we know, they're giving her the box to try and open.
Well, I mean, I don't think that they've had any reason to suspect her. And actually, that move she did on Mockingbird tonight, I think that made it really solid.
Oh, that was awesome.
That was fantastic. And you guys totally knew that's what was going on, right? When she handed her that battery thing.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, oh, you're not going to fall for this. Yep.
Yeah, I didn't think she knew up until, she started looking through the bag. But yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah.
But, to me, that shows her solidly behind Coulson and, but all of a sudden they go from that, and 10 minutes later, they're giving her Fury's box. I was like, wow, that was a pretty quick transition.
Yeah, but, her philosophy over the last several weeks seems to line more with the real Shield.
Well, and we know that, but shouldn't there be some sort of transition? I just thought
I think there will be. I think there will be. I mean, we don't see her doing anything with a box. They're just taking it to her because of that one former professor of theirs. Right. So who knows? Maybe it's going to take her, and we're going to get those scenes coming up here where they still don't have the box open, and her struggling with what to do.
Right.
And Fitz being on the straight Coulson side with this. And, maybe playing that, yin to her yang, kind of trying to make her make the right decision.
Sure.
And what's going to happen with him? Because, I mean, they're just kind of looking at him as broken goods.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, they're not
even that. Are they really, though? Because they had him doing that thing where he was searching for whatever it was that Mockingbird put in there.
Well, Coulson did, but I don't think
the real Shield.
The real Shield thinks that. I think the real Shield thinks he's broken goods.
They sat him down, and they the supervisor, whatever her name, the agent, basically had a whole conversation with her and almost completely ignored Fitz, who just kind of sat there shaking his head.
Yep, well, maybe that's the deal. Maybe they are going to try to woo Simmons away, but she's going to see that, and I keep seeing glimpses of them getting along, them being what they were. And maybe that's what it'll be. Maybe, as she starts to get pulled towards the real Shield, she'll realize, wait a minute, they're ignoring a perfectly good asset here. This isn't what I want to be aligned with.
Well, I also think that they're going to fix Fitz. That Fitz comes back online, and they've already kind of hinted that their relationship is back on the mend. It's back, to being Fitzsimmons again. I mean, it's almost there. This might be a little bump in the road where they kind of take opposite sides again. But I thought this was the first time, they're holding hands, they're kind of together, and they're going to ride it out. But what do you do with Fitz without kind of making him back to Fitz again?
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They're taking their time with it too. So I don't know. I mean, what else? What else? Can you really do with the characters? I mean, there's got to be some resolution with that at some point.
Right. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, I'm anxious to get to next week. I'm anxious to see what happens. You know what? Before we wrap up, I do want to highlight one other thing. May rocked the house tonight. She was awesome. Taking down Mockingbird when she shot Edward James Olmos. I mean, she was awesome.
Yeah, there was a point there where I almost thought Mockingbird was going to get her, was going to beat her in the fight. And I'm just thinking, wait a minute, this is the cavalry. You're going to tell me that she can take down May. Please tell me this is not happening. And then wham, and it was over. I was like, yes. And then, just dumps Coulson in the elevators. Up, you gotta go.
Yeah, yeah.
Because he is S.H.I.E.L.D.
And then, the storm, the S.H.I.E.L.D. stormtroopers walk in, and they just look on the floor, and there's Mockingbird, and there's almost. It's like, oh, that was great.
Yeah, it was really great. So yeah, I wanted to highlight that. But I mean, do you guys have anything else, or are you just looking forward to next week? Because that's kind of where I'm at now.
Yeah, I'm the same.
I'm the same. Yeah, I'm. Again, I didn't hate this episode. I guess it kind of came off that way because I didn't really care for the flashback story. I guess I didn't need all of it, but it was fine, and I liked everything that happened in the present. The conversation between Olmos and Coulson, and them feeling each other out, and I liked all that, and I can't wait to see how this plays up next week and to see what happened. Where did Skye go? Right. I think that's my big question: is where did she go, and is she with her father? Is that where he took her?
Well, they took him, so I mean, it's not really taking her in a roundabout way. It is, but they don't really care for her father, and they took him because he was shooting his mouth off too much. So
right, but I mean, did they take him and lock him up, or they just move him out of the way and just said, "You go over here and just be quiet," or what? So I'm really curious to kind of see how that plays out.
Yeah. My curiosity really was, how the heck did Hunter and Coulson find each other on that island?
Did they go to Tahiti? That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I would. Tahiti's
Coulson's
a special
spy.
place.
He knows where everybody is.
Right. So, all right.
He's sitting right here looking in my window. Hey, Coulson.
I feel like we've lost steam. I'm going to end it. So, wait. I got one more thing. So, next week,
the Southgate fake out.
No, next week, Daredevil airs. So, let's talk about it right here. I proposed, now we do have a show that's going to be doing another show that's going to go episode by episode through Daredevil. And I think we should do the same thing. But I think we should do it as a Patreon-only thing. What do you guys think? Or do you just want to talk about the series and do a wrap-up on here like we normally do?
Well, that's a tough call because, it's like, is that part of the thing, or would that be like...
If we can do it either way. I mean, we've got this Patreon account, and I want to be able to do special things on the Patreon account just for people that subscribe. And I'm thinking, hey, they can get their Daredevil recap from on the Nuff Said Network as part of our normal feed. Or if they want to have the three of us doing it, if they subscribe to Patreon, they get that breakdown through Patreon. What do you guys think?
That's a good idea.
Halil?
I'm all right with it.
All right, so now I got to figure out the logistics, huh?
Well, we have to, you kind of have to have something... You have to have something special for it, and that just seems like a good opportunity.
Well, I think so too, and I think that we can. I mean, there's no rush then, because I know I want to watch the whole thing right away, right? I doubt I'm going to be able to binge it all day that Sunday, and that'll be it. But I do want to watch it pretty quickly. I bet over the course of a week I'll get through the whole thing.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean we're going to have time to podcast 12 episodes and do all of that. So I think we can kind of take our time. If we can get, one a week on that Patreon thing, I think that would be pretty cool. And I don't know, maybe we make them like half-hour things. Maybe we figure that out, or even shorter. I don't know.
Yeah, like we could do one of these up until the season ends, and do a little half-hour one after that, after we're done.
Yeah, so that's where we're at. And then Alil, I'm putting it on you. You're going to name what our summer series is.
Oh man, really?
Yeah. Well, because everyone was jumping in the other night talking about it, and originally we had said we were going to do phase 2, but I think that maybe we want to do something else, and there's lots of options. I know that the other guys in the Enough Said universe had all these other suggestions, but Alil, I'm leaving it in your court. Whatever you say, I'm at your mercy. And Jack, you're going to be gone again, right?
Yes and no. I was looking at that broadcast school that we took Tommy to check out.
Uh-huh.
And I was thinking I might actually attend it if I can get the VA. They take the GI Bill. The problem is it's assigned right now to Miami. If I can assign it temporarily to them and back, then I'll actually take the course, and then I'll get my GI Bill while I'm here. I won't have to go anywhere.
Wow.
And I'll learn, voiceover. I'll learn editing. The final project is to do a newscast with, you have to go out and find news. You put it all together, all from Pro Tools to filming to editing.
Wow, Jack.
Yeah, it's pretty high speed, and you get access. Here's the biggest part.
Why'd you believe us in the dirt, man? Holy cow.
They have studios. They have, there's 12 campuses from South Florida all the way up to Connecticut. It's Connecticut School of Broadcasting. And you get access to the studios and any updated classes or workshops for life.
Wow.
Which, the boards, the recording, the microphones, if you want to do, they have these $6,000 TV cameras, you can check one out and go do a project. Even if it's a paid gig,
wow,
you're doing.
This is amazing.
I know.
Well, you better find out about that. So we can't. Well, it still stands.
I might be able to join you.
It still stands. Alil, it's in your court. I will figure out the Daredevil thing this week, and we will make an official announcement this week. Alil, you figure out that summer schedule, whatever it is. If you say we're watching Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends and going episode by episode, fine. It's your call, dude. All right? So you can be mean, or you can make it interesting, or whatever you want to do.
All right.
There's the X-Men films, the Spider-Man films, the Marvel films, the 70s stuff, the serials. I don't care. You could even say we're going to read through graphic novels. All right? It's up to you, dude.
You want to wrap it up? It's 1:45 here. So.
Yeah, that's it. You can find past episodes of this and all of our podcasts at our website, which is www.southgatemediagroup.com. You can find me on Twitter at rsouthgate. You can find the network on Twitter at SMGPods. And you can find this show on Twitter at Nuff Said Podcast. Jack, where can they find you?
You can find me at Jwin Grosky, or you can check us out on the Bosch podcast or my Trumpet Talk podcast, and you can link those on the website.
Awesome. And Alil.
You can find me at LOGEEKZ for the League of Geeks podcast.
That's it.
That's it.
All right. And find us every Saturday night at the Blue Box Cafe in Elgin. Alil and I do live shows basically every Saturday night. Check the schedule. Check the website. We'll post schedules every month of what we're doing. I think that's it. Guys, thank you so much. Next week, maybe we'll have a little more energy. We won't be starting so late. And we'll also make our official announcement about Daredevil and everything else going on at that point. That's it, everybody. Enough said.
Enough said.
Enough said.